Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to this weekend's Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya.
Mataji, today is Friday, right?
Oh, for me it's Saturday morning. Thank you. So we'll do Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sorry. Okay. So we'll do Chaitanya Charitamrita. Can you quickly send in the group that it's not Chaitanya Bhagavat but Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Sure, Mataji.
Thank you. So we are going to read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 4. So this is the glories of Madhavendra Puri. We've been reading about the glories of Madhavendra Puri. So what did we read so far in the past 11 verses? Let me quickly go back. Yes. So yes, Mahaprabhu last chapter we saw that Mahaprabhu last chapter 3 was the Lord stay in Advaita Acharya's home, and from there Mahaprabhu left for Jagannath Puri. On the way to Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu stopped at Remuna, which is the place of Kirchor Gopinath. So Mahaprabhu is traveling with his 4 associates, Nityananda Prabhu, Damodar Pandit, Jagadananda Pandit and Mukunda. So when Mahaprabhu arrived at Remuna, seeing Kirchor Gopinath, Mahaprabhu begins to glorify Kirchor Gopinath and tell his devotees, his companions, about the glories of Madhavendra Puri, for whose sake the deity Kirchor Gopinath stole a pot of sweet rice. So that's why we are reading about the glories of Madhavendra Puri here. That's the connection. Why we are reading about Madhavendra Puri now all of a sudden. Okay. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded, text 10, proceeded toward Jagannath Puri with 4 of his devotees, and he chanted the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, with great eagerness. Each day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went to a village and collected a great quantity of rice and other grains for the preparation of prasadam. Yes. So Mahaprabhu would go. So now when they are traveling, they have not arrived at Remuna yet, but when they were traveling, going to different places, so they would in each village Mahaprabhu would go out to beg for alms that day. So he would collect means people would give him so much, right? So he would come back to their place wherever they camp, right? Stop. He came back with a lot of rice and lot of vegetables to be cooked and prepared. Okay. So we'll read from the next verse now. Text 12. पथे बड़ो बड़ो दानी विघ्न नाही करे तासा बारे कृपा कोरी आइला रे मुनारे. Pathe bodo bodo dani. Dani means donors, right? Big, big donors on the way. Vigna nahi kore. Acha, sorry, Dani is not donors. Dani is tax collectors. Dani means tax collectors. See, from Bengal to Orissa, when you go from Bengal to Orissa, back then it was the, the Muslims were ruling. So you had to pay big, big taxes in order to cross the river, cross the border, right? And not only that, not only did you have to pay big taxes, but um, also um, there were dacoits. It was a very scary situation. So you would have to pay, there were dacoits that would plunder. Even those tax collectors would be actually, they would be like dacoits, right? They would come and they would arrest them or kill them like that. So anyway, Pathe Bodo Bodo Dani Vigna Nahi Kore, just so that these big, big tax collectors don't obstruct their journey. Tasabare kripa kori aila remunare. Showing mercy to all of them, they reached the village known as Remuna. There were many rivers on the way, and at each river there was a tax collector. The tax collectors did not hinder the Lord, however. Okay. Hinder, right? The tax collector. It was not an easy task to cross the border, because there would be these big, big tax collectors that would not allow anyone to go unless they paid a huge tax. Now, here is Mahaprabhu, a sannyasi, but somehow, when Mahaprabhu is going, there were big, big tax collectors, but none of them actually stopped Mahaprabhu's journey. Without any hindrance, they were able to reach the village of Remuna. There were many rivers on the way, and at each river there was a tax collector. The tax collectors did not hinder the Lord, however, and he showed them mercy. So, because they didn't hinder them, the Lord was very kind to them. He showed them his mercy. Finally, he reached the village of Remuna. Pathe bodo bodo dani vigna nahi kore, tasabare kripa kori aila remunare. So they did not, right? Past tense. They did not obstruct the path of Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu glanced mercifully on them and finally reached Remuna. Purport: there is a railway station named Baleshwar, and 5 miles to the west is the village of Remuna. That's where a train accident happened recently, right? There is a railway station named Baleshwar, and 5 miles to the west is the village of Remuna. The temple of Kshira Chora Gopinath still exists in this village, and within the temple, the Samadhi tomb of Rasikananda Prabhu, the chief disciple of Shyamananda Goswami, can still be found. So we were reading about the 3 book distributors of the original book distributors, Sankirtan leaders, right? Book distributors of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya, Shyamananda Pandit. Srinivasacharya's disciple, Srinivasacharya, his disciple is Ramachandra Kaviraj, whose disappearance we observed recently. And of course, Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur, he had many disciples, but Narottam Das Thakur's spiritual master is Loknath Goswami. Srinivas Acharya's spiritual master is Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Shyamananda Pandit's spiritual master is Hriday Chaitanya. Hriday Chaitanya, his Samadhi, Goswami, his Samadhi you will find in Ambika Kalna. Okay. So anyway, that's just the connection. So this Shyamananda Pandit's disciple is Rasikananda Prabhu. So there's a book on the life of Rasikananda Prabhu. So the temple so in this temple of Kirachora Gopinath, you find the Samadhi tomb of Rasikananda Prabhu. And in Ambika Kalna, where you have the deities of Gaur Nitai, right, where the Lord just turned into a deity and they're residing there, that temple you'll see the Samadhi of Hridaya Chaitanya Goswami, who is the guru of Shyamananda Pandit. And Shyamananda Pandit's disciple is Rasikananda Prabhu, whose Samadhi you'll find in Kirachwar Gopinath. So Rasikananda Prabhu is the chief disciple of Shyamananda Pandit. And this Shyamananda Pandit is also the one of the three book distributors, original book distributors. So there are pastimes of all these acharyas, wonderful pastimes. Remunate Gopinatha Paramamohana Bhakti Kori Koilo Prabhu Tara Darshana. So like this, Mahaprabhu arrived at Remuna. Without being obstructed by these tax collectors, he arrived in Remuna. Remunate Gopinatha Paramamohana, right? Extremely beautiful, attractive form of Gopinath. Bhakti Kori Koilo Prabhu Tara Darshana. With great love, Mahaprabhu took darshan of the most enchanting form of Gopinath in Remuna. The deity of Gopinath in the temple at Remuna was very attractive. Lord Chaitanya visited the temple and offered his obeisances with great devotion. Tara pada padma nikata pranama kurite, Tara pushpa chuda podilo prabhura mathate. While Mahaprabhu went close to the deity and he was offering obeisances, pranams, then the pushpa chuda, garland or flower, fell on the head of Mahaprabhu. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of the Gopinath deity, the helmet of flowers, right? With flowers you make headpieces, crowns. So the helmet of flowers on the head of Gopinath, right? That thing on top, right? It's made with flowers that fell down and landed on the head of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the crown of Gopinath came and landed on the head of Mahaprabhu when Mahaprabhu was offering pranams to Kirchur Gopinath. Chuda paya Mahaprabhura Anandita Mana Bahu Nritya Gita Koilo Laya Bhakta Gana. So when this happened, when the Lord's crown fell on, flower crown fell on Mahaprabhu's head, Mahaprabhu became most blissful, Anandita Mana, right? Mahaprabhura Anandita Mana, his heart became so blissful. Bahu Nritya Gita Koilo Loya Bhaktagana. And in great ecstasy, Mahaprabhu started to and dance along with all the devotees. When the deity's helmet fell upon his head, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very pleased and thus he chanted and danced in various ways with his devotees. Prabhura Prabhava Dekhi Prema Rupa Guna Vismita Hoila Gopinathera Dasa Gana. Prabhura Prabhava Dekhi, right? His influence, his love, the effect that his love had on everyone, and just seeing his ecstasies. Prabhura Prabhava Dekhi, Prema Rupa Guna. What type of influence of his love, right? His form, how exquisitely beautiful is the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his qualities, right? Seeing this Vismita Hoila, Gopinathera Dasagana, the servants of Gopinath, they became completely awestruck, right? They were completely amazed, dumbfounded, seeing the wonderful form of Mahaprabhu, seeing his love, the ecstasies, how he was dancing in such ecstasies, and seeing his wonderful qualities of humility and of his love. They were completely awestruck. All the servants of the deity were struck with wonder due to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intense love, his exquisite beauty, and his transcendental qualities. Nana rupe pritye koilo prabhura sevana, sei ratri taha prabhu korila vanchana. Okay. So, Nana rupe pritye koilo prabhura sevana. So, Because of their love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they served him in many ways. So when they saw him, they were struck with wonder, and they were completely, naturally, they were also attracted to Mahaprabhu. And then they served him in so many ways, right? Offering him various prasadam and, in many different ways. They served him because of their love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Naturally, they are all servants of Gopinath. The same Lord is now in front of them as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Won't they have that attraction and affection? So they were just serving him in various ways because of their love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They served him in many ways. And that night, the Lord stayed at the temple of Gopinath. The Lord just stayed at the temple of Gopinath. महाप्रसाद खीर लोभे रहिला प्रभु तथा पूर्वे ईश्वर पुरी तारे कोहिया छेन कथा. In the night, right? You know that early in the morning and the first offering in the morning and the last offering of the day, right? In the night before the Lord goes to bed, what do we offer? Sweet rice is offered to the Lord. Even in our ISKCON temples also, right? That's Krishna's offering. Before he goes to bed, you offer sweet rice. And early in the morning when Krishna wakes up, condensed milk, rabdi is offered. So, of course, milk is also offered, and so many other items are also offered. Rasgulla, Sandesh, Barfi, like that. Milk sweets. But sweet rice is offered at night. So, Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwarapuri. Ishwarapuri is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So Mahaprabhu had heard from his spiritual master, from Ishwarapuri, about the glories of Madhavendra Puri, and this history of Madhavendra Puri is getting sweet rice from Gopinath. And the wonderful story of the sweet rice of Gopinath, Mahaprabhu had heard it from his guru's lips, from Ishwarapuri, who was a direct disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So Mahaprabhu had this lobha, this intense greed to get that sweet rice, Mahaprasad, of Kirchur Gopinath, which has such wonderful history. Mahaprasada Kshira Lobhe, Mahaprasada Kira, the Mahaprasad sweet rice, Lobhe, out of eagerness, out of greed to get that Mahaprasad sweet rice, Prabhu, Rohila Prabhu Tata. That's why he stayed back there in the night in hopes of getting that Mahaprasad sweet rice of Gopinath. The Lord stayed back that night in uh, Remuna, in Kirchur Gopinath's temple. Why? Purve Ishwarapuri Tare Kohiya Chena Katha. Previously, Ishwarapuri had told him about this pastime of the sweet rice of Gopinath. That's why, in hopes of getting that Mahaprasad sweet rice of Gopinath, Mahaprabhu stayed back that night in Remuna. The Lord remained there because he was very eager to receive the remnants of sweet rice offered to the Gopinath deity, having heard a narration from his spiritual master Ishwarapuri of what had once happened there. What happened there? Kirachora Gopinatha Prasiddha Taranam. How this name even came? Now he is known, the temple is known as Kirchor Gopinath. It's not called Gopinath temple. It's called Kirchor Gopinath temple. So where did this Kirchor come from? This, this Prasiddha, this famous name Kirchor Gopinath. How did he get? Kirachora Gopinatha Prasiddha Taranam Bhakta Gane Kohe Prabhu Seita Akhyan. So the Lord began to tell the devotees how this name Kirchor Gopinath came. That deity was known widely as Kirachora Gopinath, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his devotees the story of how the deity became so famous as Kirchor Gopinath. How did he get this name? What is the history? Mahaprabhu began to tell the devotees. So that we will read tomorrow, actually on Monday. So we will begin the story on Monday. And tomorrow and day after will be Chaitanya Bhagavatam. So sorry about that. Hare Krishna.